making your way in the world today, you really need a pod. Why don't you put your headphones in and give this one a shot? Wouldn't you like to just listen away and go to a place where everybody knows who you are? Listen to two guys brew ha-ha, Cold Street Brewery and Full Buddy Cast, two of the greatest names. Why don't you go and listen to this episode? All right, so everyone, thanks so much for listening to another episode of BrewHaha with Cold Street Brewery. We got Sean McDonald, the owner, the brewmaster, the lover of all mankind, and God's glorious creatures down here on Earth. Did I already say your name, Sean McDonald?
Yes.
Was that a bookend? Was that
Yeah.
a bookend? Now I used to do video podcasts about 2 years ago. Hadn't done it for a while. Didn't have the program for it. Invested more money into my equipment, and now I feel like I can do it. So this one's going to be recorded on video as well, but we might have just clips for right now. But what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of coaching Sean a little bit. Sean coached Alex, beer tender Alex, very well on the. I don't know if you listened to it yet, but the softball's hard talk concerning her newness. Now you're new to this, and so here's me. I'm going to put the coach Sean hat on right now, and I'm going to tell you this: it feels weird. You feel like now all of a sudden, it was different because it's like even though people are listening to it, now people are viewing us. So we sit a little differently. We suck in the guts.
I'm sitting just the same.
I suck in the guts, and we position things
except normally,
in a certain way so no one can see the gut.
Normally, this glass doesn't have this problem.
This will not be a fully videoed one because my wife just called in on the show.
Oh,
and
but that's a good thing to video.
Yeah. What do we got going on over here though? Oh, nice. You're all done. Congratulations, my friend. I feel like you printed this off of Amazon and filled it out yourself. But,
no.
No, so that was me. Yeah, so don't worry about the camera. Also,
what camera?
Exactly. What we need to
Where'd you put it? Where is it?
Exactly. We're not doing this again. Ooh, beer of the week. What we got going on right now? This is beer of the week. It looks good.
Because it doesn't normally.
Because the normal just looks like crap. No, I'm kidding. This looks really good. What is it?
This is the Grapefruit Rattler.
Oh, I actually saw it the other day, and I withheld myself because I wanted to taste it online with you to determine how good it tasted. So it's the Grapefruit Rattler.
Yep, Rattler. Rattler means that there is soda water in it. So it brings down the alcohol, but it brings up the peppiness. That's why when you open it, it was all fizzy.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely got a nice color come over here. It looks kind of like a grapefruit color.
Yeah.
Not really pink, but kind of the yellow.
Yeah. Delicious. That's good.
Yeah, it's low in alcohol. It's only 4%, 4.2%. So you can session it in the summertime. I've had it ready for a while. It's just I've had so many light beers on. I didn't want to have too many things.
Yeah.
Right now, the blackberry's out until blackberries are ripe.
Which I went golfing. I feel like I went golfing, and the golf courses, you come along there, and every so often you come across, blackberries. Yeah, and I feel like are they coming in?
Have you tried them?
Oh yeah,
you tried them?
Yeah.
Were they sweet or were they tart?
They are in between.
They're kind of dry, kind of like a lot of grit.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Not quite ready.
Was it from the heat? Did the heat create a lot more like?
They love water. That's how they get really juicy.
Right.
Because they suck up a lot of water. But
does that mean that
they're also going to be smaller because of
that's what I felt.
Water.
I felt that they were going to be smaller. Okay.
So just waiting a little bit on that before the blackberry comes back.
And so this is going to be in session for
September. Yeah.
Pretty much all September.
Yep.
And then once it runs out, it's out till next year, kind of a thing, right?
Yep.
And have you had the Grapefruit Rattler before, or is this a new?
I bring this back once a year. Normally it's like beginning of August. I have two beers that I'm bringing back that are normally like August beers. I have this beer, and then I have a lemon shandy. So I don't like to have them both. I try not to have them both on at the same time, but I think there's going to be a little overlap.
Yeah.
because shandy also means that there's soda in it too. So it's more like this is a soda water. That one's like a cream soda. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
How's the old new? How's the brew location going? Is that going well?
Yeah, it's good. So we're open on the weekends down there, Friday through Sunday.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, and
it's a Friday through Sunday thing. Okay.
Yeah, and we're starting back activities. So I was going to bring that up. So we're, the brewery's always been great for doing different activities. Obviously, we've kept going with the comedy, but the comedy has just been at the Courier. We're going to keep doing the comedy at the Courier. It kind of works there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a comfortable place, and we can kind of see how many people we have and that sort of thing. But with other things like trivia, we're bringing back trivias on Fridays at the brewery. That would be difficult at the Courier because people coming in and out all the time, just waiting for a table. They aren't sticking around very long. And then they didn't know the answer and almost blurted it out. And that kind of just ruins the fun of the trivia part. So trivia is on Friday nights. Also, this Saturday, we're going to have our
last Saturday. I'm going to go to it, though.
Well, we'll have trivia every Friday.
Yeah.
But this last Saturday, we had the cribbage tournament. We're going to still do that once a month.
Once a month. Good. 'Cause I've been playing cribbage, man. I'm figuring it out. I'm getting better and better.
Then thinking about bringing bingo. I had bought prior to COVID, I bought a big bingo roller thing. And then that's been super popular in Enumclaw with the chamber doing that. But I guess the chamber had to cancel their bingo for some reason.
Oh.
So I'm thinking like the first weekend of September.
Do your own
bingo night.
I like it. And as we head into uncharted waters that were kind of charted last year, things change, right? So there's always something, that aspect of changing. I like that you do have activities set up. I've also kicked around doing my lives, but then it's like, well, if I plan this, what's it going to be in 2 months, 3 months? I got my 40th birthday party coming up. And I know I'm excited, and I want to do like this massive invite, friends, listeners, hosts, guests, family, whoever wants to come. We'll get this place. In fact, Desi B has been hit up my wife and was like, "Hey, let's figure this out. Let's get a spot." I think Jamie was going to look at Susan Ferguson's place, and we were looking at a few other barns and locations, like wedding venue type areas. And then I thought, well, maybe across the street from Cole Street, that big tent. I wonder if I can contact the city but this is late October, so who knows? Right now, today, the mask mandate came back for all indoor places, and so it's like, well, by then, is it going to be no large gatherings? You can't have
6 foot and all that.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to plan all
Same
that.
Family at a table.
Yeah,
all those things.
So my heart goes out to all those people that. And the other day I was driving up and down town, going to different places because everyone's having their wedding, even graduations, family reunions. I mean, it's like everywhere you would drive, there'd be a pod of cars of like 5, 10, 15 cars at some place because people are trying to get everything in right now.
I know, and everything's still just so screwed up. I talked about this on our last podcast about the restaurants are still struggling to get food just because there aren't people coming back to work in the warehouse and doing all that stuff. And for me, it's kind of one of those stupid, poignant things there. During the lockdown, when I was locked down and wasn't making any money, my landlord at the Courier was super nice, where they let me not pay, and they just kind of stacked it up, deferred it, and I've been catching up on that. And it's just kind of funny how this is the last month of catching up on it, and then
all of a sudden we're right back
down,
to it.
So it's going to start all over again.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
That sucks. Yeah. That's like Chutes and Ladders a little bit. Like you climb your way out, feeling like you're going to get it, and then boom, hit that little slide, and you're back down.
Yeah.
But I feel like through this, and shout out to all. I mean, I'm serious when I say this. Okay, I couldn't be happier. Just partnered with you during that pandemic, in a sense, where you were able to come along.
I had time so I could get into the rhythm of doing this.
Yeah. And well, no, you've really been very dedicated on it, and I appreciate that. But I'm just talking about it's been fun to be able to A, get to know you, and then B, just kind of you've been so real with the whole thing, and definitely with your sponsorship that you have for the podcast and being vocal, getting, not only upgrading the equipment, but also the shirts and bringing on guests and getting it out there and pumping it yourself. It just felt like for me anyway, it felt awesome. And it's like, okay, you know what? As the vaccines, probably people start getting those and getting them rolled out, and boosters get hit. I think we're over halfway through this pandemic. I think everyone thought, oh, we're done in May. Oh, yeah. It's over.
Yeah.
And I think the reality of everything.
That was just in the summertime when, it's
right.
Not flu season summertime. So.
And what I heard is that, you got all these like southern states that are just really ramping up. Well, it's because one thing that I've heard is that everyone is indoors during the heat seasons down there in Texas, Florida, so everyone's indoors enjoying the AC because it gets super hot. And what are we? Well, we're outdoors during that time. And now guess where we're going? Yeah. We're going back indoors, because it gets cold up here. So, I think, we'll see how it goes, but I think we're hopefully kind of through most of this, and then probably, one more, maybe by next summer we'll be looking a little better. Who knows?
Who knows?
But anyway, hey,
we still got beer.
We still got beer. But we've been able to create kind of I feel like Cole Street Brewery going downtown, opening up that location, Bordeaux Wine Bar moving over there as well, and then the restaurants all moving kind of outside. It's created this nice atmosphere of and shout out to the city for keeping things shut down during the summer, except for the cruise. We get it. Cruise is awesome. And also shout out for keeping the cruise going too. Mm-hmm. But it's able to create this atmosphere of, seeing people again, feeling that vibe, enjoying it. So, I'm loving it. I kind of like what it's done. And how Enumclaw has adapted to it. They didn't just say, okay, we're done. And
for sure.
Yeah. So,
we're not stopping that. We're still evolving. We're always changing stuff. The downtown businesses, we've already gotten together this last week and started spitballing like, what's this mean? What are we gonna do to kind of
for this? Were you kind of tipped off beforehand or
oh yeah,
so you knew it was coming.
There's it gets told to the city and the different parties well ahead.
Is it just I didn't see the whole thing, but is it just a mask mandate indoors, or are they going down from is it now 75% or 50%?
They haven't dropped anything yet, no.
As of now, it's just masks.
Yeah. The scuttlebutt, and this isn't confirmed, is mid-September once the kids are in school. They're going to see what the numbers are and then possibly go back down. Yeah. Which
it's, they did it last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hopefully we don't have to get there, but fingers crossed on that.
Yeah. And it depends on the numbers,
Yeah, for sure. So anyways, I want to say thank you guys for supporting going down, whether it's just bringing your friends, letting them enjoy Enumclaw, you going down, grabbing some takeout or sitting outside, or going to Cole Street and sitting there and ordering food while you're drinking those beers, enjoying your time. Shout out to you guys, and tag yourself, man. Tag yourself. Take pictures and tag yourself. Let's keep that momentum rolling into these fall and winter months. So, have you been hiring anybody new?
Yeah, I've had a huge influx of. All of a sudden gotten a whole bunch of new employees. I think I have 8 people working for me currently.
Nice.
A couple of them were seasonal. I had a couple teachers that are going back to teaching, so they're kind of still with me right now. But come September, they'll be going back to school. So then I'll drop back down to 6 people working. Yeah, and trying to get them on.
Let's see. I know, fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
Cheers.
So I wanted to throw out there. So this weekend coming up. So the 27th through the 29th, is that right?
Yeah.
Is first of all, the rodeo's in town, Enumclaw Rodeo.
Nice.
Coming back, they're great people. Go out and support them. That's always a fun show. It's all 3 days. But on top of that, I'm also doing an event with Left Behind Canine.
What's that?
Left Behind Canine is a rescue dog rescue place that it's from Buckley. There are a bunch of local people And they find dogs that are in bad situations and they pick them up. They foster them and figure out what their quirks are, whether they have health issues, whether, physical issues, mental issues, that sort of thing. And then they rehome them. So I've done a couple of events with them. They're really great. They're next weekend are going to do one at Reba Ranch.
Where's that at? That sounds familiar.
Reba Ranch is, it's in Kent. It's off of the Kent Kangley. Honestly, you'd have to Google the address. I don't entirely know. But that same weekend, so the 28th and 29th, from like noon. On Saturday, it's from, I want to say it's noon to 9 or 10. Mm-hmm. And then on Sunday, it's from like noon to 4. They have live music. I will be there serving beer. There'll be other breweries there serving beer. There'll be wine.
What day is this?
Saturday and Sunday.
Of that 27th and 28th or whatever?
Yep.
The weekend. 28th. So it's the weekend before Labor Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then what are the hours that kick off around?
It starts at noon. Both days starts at noon.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a great event. It's kind of, it helps fund them.
Right.
And then it introduces people to them, and what their goals are and that sort of thing.
Do you have to wear anything special?
Bring a dog.
Bring a dog. Can you bring a dog? Just bring. It's dog
friendly. 100% dog friendly.
How about cats? Would that create unleash madness if you let a cat go loose?
That's up to you. It depends on how your cat reacts to other dogs, because there's going to be a lot of dogs.
Are those dogs that reacting to those cats too? Right. That's good.
Well, it depends on the cat.
That'd be crazy. Well, that's exciting. So, you'll be there with a booth.
Yep.
And then will you have any beer tenders with you? Who are you taking with you?
Emily will be down there.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool.
Emily number 1. I just hired Emily number 2.
Oh, and have we? I went in there the other day and I saw that what's his name? Trevor.
Yep.
Still has your name covered. Did you take that off yet?
No.
You kept it on there.
Well, I haven't really been working behind the bar.
Okay.
I have people working behind the bar for me. So.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I have a new block that's specially made for him. So you'll see it. You'll notice it.
I love it. Did he have fun? Did you talk to him?
Oh yeah, had a blast.
Are there any other? I mean, Alex has been on, Emily's been on, Rachel's been on, Trevor's and Chris. Is there any? Has it created some buzz where they're like, "Hey, you need to get on this. It's fun."
Oh yeah.
Or are they like, "That sucked"?
Well, when I was grabbing this growler, I'm like, and they're like, "Oh, what are you grabbing the growler for? Are you going for a podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, you want to go?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, no, I have dinner plans. Damn it." Yeah, next time, like, put me on. Like, when are you doing it? Like, yeah. So they want to come back on.
They have terrible excuses, is what you're saying. But next time.
Well,
that's how it was when I asked a girl out in high school to a dance. Hey, so and so just asked me, but next time.
Well, next time. Emily had Colson with her, and he turned 7 months today, so they're having a little thing for him. And then Rachel is working, so
next time.
So I could just send them up, and I could stay there and work. And you could podcast.
I'm going to create my own shirt. You have your shirt that says "There's free beer tomorrow," right? Or there's always free beer tomorrow. It reminds me, like, hey, you can always be on tomorrow. There's a free seat here tomorrow,
right?
I've got some people that have hit me up. Might do some random ones. Maybe I'll start showing you some of this guest lists, and maybe we'll just bring them on here too.
That works. I always like guests.
Yeah. Because I think that talk beer as well as, it'd be interesting. Maybe, I don't know if you'd be ever interested to the VIPs for Cole Street. If you were to do like hey, throw your name in a hat if you're interested, and I'll draw it and we'll bring you on.
Okay.
I'm sure like half those people are like, I'll just.
You'd be surprised. Quite a few of them listen too.
Nice.
They're always making comments about it.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, if you're a VIP person. This only applies to the Fev. This is not the other thing. Okay, it's not the other thing VIP. This is the legit VIP. Mm-hmm. You can definitely put your name in a hat, and we'll raffle it off one day, and then we'll bring you on very shortly after that. If you really want to be on super bad, $500 our way, you're on.
Sure,
absolutely.
$500, and you bring the beer.
And you bring the beer. I'll pay for the beer. If you bring the $500, I will pay for that round, and we'll do 2 episodes. Okay, and we'll have plenty of beer. But yeah, hit up Sean, hit up me if you're interested in that. If you're not interested in that and you want to become a Patreon, become a Patreon. It's patreon.com/join/fullbuddycast. And the $50 tier, shout out to Ira. He's back on. Let's see if it processes through September 1st because the payment processes through on the 1st of the month. And $50 a month, that gets you on, that gets you a t-shirt. That gets you a beer bought by me at Cole Street. That also will get you invited to whatever show you want to be on. So if you want to be on Cole Street or BrewHaha with Sean, then come on. And then that also gets you the VIP priority seating when we start doing lives again. Mm-hmm. It's been busy, but we have committed to doing some lives. Just got to figure it out, how everything goes. So, so definitely hit that. We have other tiers as well, 5, 10, 20. Shout out to all the Patreons. I'll do a shout out at the end about that. But anyway, if you are interested and that's how you want to do it too, just go there and check it out. So that was my fast. It's been hot. It's been hot in these in this lab, in the pod lab
for sure.
As it's been hot as Joey calls it.
It's not too bad. My back's only slightly sweaty.
Just slightly sweaty, but I mean, right now is not bad. I think the temperature right now is probably maybe mid 70s outside, maybe high 70s. I don't even know, man.
I think lower 80s, like 82, 83.
What is 75? Oh. 77, as hot as 75. So it gets hot in here though. And so it's been 90s, 80s, and 90s. And so in here, you get in here, it's like 120 degrees. You get cooked. Yeah. So I'm happy that we can turn off the fan and not get cooked right now. So how have you been beating the heat? What have you been doing? You been going anywhere? Been traveling around, eating anywhere?
I've gotten out to breweries a little bit. I've been trying to set up for a VIP tour, going some behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I've been stopping by some breweries that I haven't been in a while. Went down and saw my buddy Ross Hudspeth down at Four Generals, down in Renton. Stopped into Dubtown, which is another brand new one right down the road. Haven't really hooked up with those people yet. I'm not sure who the brewers are there, but they have some good brewers, good concept down there. So,
and then when you drink some of these beers, or at least recently when you visit, I'm sure you like to enjoy your beer connoisseur. You like all that, but are you ever like, I kind of like that, maybe I'll try it? Do you ever do that?
Oh yeah.
Is it like R&D research and all that?
Yeah, there's always that. Like, oh, that's a decent idea. Let me think about that and kind of put a twist on that. Yeah, and for sure. And all of them everybody's super open, so I can approach them and be like, hey, can I get the recipe? Not that I want the recipe, but I could if I wanted.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because I remember when we first started this. This was a few months after the pandemic started, right? So you probably have seen some breweries close their doors. You probably see some restaurants as well.
Yeah.
Did it ever change before? You were like, oh yeah, we go to these different, maybe you haven't been able to, but we go to like these different festivals or beer festivals or these different types of things, and we share each other's recipes. And I want to try that, because everything, even though it's kind of the same recipe, you might be using different ingredients, different water, tastes a little bit different. You got all this different stuff that's kind of going into it. So no one really has the same exact, even though it's the same recipe, same exact taste.
Yeah.
But did you see that as these, the economy started going up and down and things started shutting down, did you see anyone kind of like hold tight to some of their stuff? And you don't have to name names, but did it change the flow of the industry at all?
I think we got real regional. So, it used to be like I could contact somebody across the state and deal that. Now it's like it's real regional. We're really reaching out close and local, sharing ingredients, because we've ran into supply chain issues too, getting grains and that different things, And a lot of times it's not that we don't get it, it's just super delayed, where we should be getting it this week and it takes 3 weeks later. So that's just, Westby from Half Lion coming up and borrowing 5-6 bags of grain, he's like short 5 or 6 until the next load comes in. And then, and so we're just, doing, and definitely, like I said, it used to be like statewide. We'd, contact like the trucks coming all the way up from Longview. So along the way, it just drops off bags or pallets at each stop, versus now it's more or less like real close local. Like, hey, are you getting a truck? We need to split this truck and get it here local.
So you're splitting trucks with people. You're the guy that also said back when we first started this was that it's a very farm-esque mentality. Mm-hmm. From back in the day, you would trade something for something. I'm growing this and you're growing that. Can we make a trade? And now, and has that changed at all? Has that stayed the same?
No, that's still, like I said, it's a lot more regional versus, like I was saying, when you're coming across the state, like that'd be the same thing. Like that truck is coming this way anyway, so then they're throwing goods on there to bring it up there. Versus now there isn't very much communication to the out of our area sort of breweries to do that. It's more like real centralized, just local guys. But we still do it with our local guys, just not reaching out to as many people as we did before.
And I think it was who's the one that I'm thinking of? Was it John? Who's the one that does classes, YouTube, teaches? What was the one we had on as a guest?
Oh yeah, John from John's Homebrew.
John's Homebrew. Yeah. So that was another thing. I wish I asked him, but maybe you know it. While people have been staying home, they're working on their car. They're doing all the projects. I know that I was talking to a friend that works at a hardware store, and he was like, his business was up because everyone's working from home. They're configuring their offices. They're also like finally fixing that thing that has been driving them nuts forever. And, they're taking their home. They don't have to wait in an hour and a half traffic to get home every day. Now they're just working projects, cleaning things up. People doing hobbies, at home hobbies. Have you noticed any or talked to anyone that may be, doing that home brewing thing themselves, and maybe have they picked your brain on some things on how to do it and all of that?
I did have a big uptrend in emails contacting me like, hey, can I get this recipe? Or, hey, what's a good place to find hops? Or where's this different stuff? Because there are, I'm a resource for that, or I have a lot more connections that are easier. Some of them, unless you have a wholesale license, you can't. But that being said, if you contact and go through me or another brewery or another person that has wholesale, you can get stuff easier. So there's definitely, that was last winter. Yeah, in 2020 winter. There's a lot of people reaching out, wondering. So definitely, we did forget to ask John that, but I'm pretty sure he did have a pretty big uptick in homebrew and stuff at home.
Sure.
Bunch of things, people worrying about supply and being stuck at home and being able to just make their own. Too.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering is, you're stuck at home, and usually hobbies last like 2-3 months, and then you move on to the next thing. You buy all the equipment for it or whatever. You're like, oh, I'm going to do this. Why are they going to do it? And then you get into it 3 months and you realize why you weren't doing it. And so I didn't know also, though, when maybe people need guidance, they get to a point where they get stuck. They're like, well, this was going really well. And then for whatever reason, it didn't come out as beery as I thought it was going to be. And, and
that's homebrew in general. First couple of times what always happens is the first one you do is like, oh, that's amazing. It was so great. And then you go back and you're like, oh, what happened? Because you kind of get too overconfident and you're like, oh, this is easy. It's not.
Yeah. I wonder if people also, they perhaps they try things in a smaller amount just to say, okay, I think I can, if I do a big thing, I can mess that up. I want to do a small thing, see if I can understand it. I got it.
Well, I think I talked about this on one of our first podcasts. The realization when I went professional, it takes me not exactly, but pretty much the exact same amount of time to brew a 300-gallon batch versus a 30-gallon batch. It's just quantities are different. So like grinding the grain maybe takes a little bit longer. But the really kick in the pants is when you do a small batch, if you make a small mistake, it's a huge mistake. It could ruin that whole batch versus a large batch. You make a small mistake, you don't even notice it.
Doesn't hit it as
blends
hard.
Right in.
Yeah.
So that's also kind of a learning curve when you first start homebrewing. Is like you make just a minor mistake and it could really affect your whole entire batch.
That makes sense. That's
why taking diligent notes, like what the temperature was, what the weather was like outside. I put it here.
Get a little deeper into it. I see.
I was washing washing my buckets with the hose outside versus in my sink inside. Those are
all different things.
That hose might have something on it.
Interesting. For me, I don't think I could do that because I mess up like pancakes, and not like pancakes where you're putting a couple eggs in and some buttermilk and some sugar and flour. No, I'm like the mix. And I'm always like, is that 1/3 cup water, 2/3 cup? I can't. Well, I'll just throw it in here all together. And usually they come out super runny. And my wife's like, you don't ever try to mix anything ever again. So I guess I'm not the guy that would probably do with the homebrew. I'm the guy in the mind who's thinking, oh, I could do that. That's fun. That sounds awesome. But then when I actually get down to it, I'd be like, okay.
It's easier. Just buy it.
It's just easier just to go grab a growler down at Cole Street. I know what I'm getting. It's delicious and I'm good. How's that? It hits different IPA as
Nope, don't have that one yet. That's still in R&D.
So cranberries coming up. Probably. Did you say you do a cranberry one?
Cranberry, no.
No. Yeah, no.
I've dabbled cranberries, but I don't really know any cranberry farms. Like if anybody does, over out on like by
maybe some cranberry.
West
Pine. Is that in the spring?
Yeah. So the spruce tips is in the spring. But I have my honey basil is coming out. The basil's not quite ready. Or it's in, but it's not quite flavored out yet. Yeah. We're the margarita's out currently, but it's almost ready. That one's not quite done yet too. And then I did another seltzer.
Nice.
It's coming back out.
Yeah. The pumpkin spice seltzer? No. And
then I had that lemon shandy's coming out. And then I just brewed an Oktoberfest because it is coming on September. It's a lager, so it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah. It's getting cold. I went golfing yesterday, and it's weird.
Well, it's cold compared to what it's been.
What it's been, I know. It's like it was like 8 p.m., and I'm like, oh, man, it feels like a crisp. I feel like I want to go watch some Hornet football right now.
Well, it's kind of like it's getting darker sooner. We were out playing softball last night, and they had to call the game short because it was getting dark. And
they don't kick on the lights.
There's only 2 fields at the 6 lights.
Now,
so
how's softball going for you?
Well, we made it to the playoffs, and so our last
game.
Wait.
If someone says, "Well, we made it to the playoffs," and
yeah,
I feel like there's not going to be anything good after that.
All right, so the last games that we played were July 22nd, and we just played our first playoff game August 21st. Or wait, what is it? The 18th today?
18th, yeah.
Yeah, 17th. So almost a month later, we finally get
it
again.
Was it because of the heat? Some games getting canceled?
There was rainouts for the other night, the Tuesday nights. And
you're talking about back in June. Yeah. Was this because of June? It was kicking off in June, and we had rain with that. We never see summer, and then we saw way too much of summer.
And then, like I said, so then our game got called short, so we play with 6 innings, and it got called in the 4th inning. So we lost 2 innings due to no lights. It's like all the things.
And did you guys lose that game?
Well, we aren't playing tonight.
I was wondering why. I was wondering how you cleared your schedule so easily.
Yeah. That's disappointing, but it's how it goes. Sometimes there's always next year.
There's fall ball. There's always free softball next year. Are you gonna play fall softball?
I don't know. I get so busy this time of year. Really, in the summertime, I can spread it out a little bit, but.
And you're done umping?
Yeah.
Done umping
until spring. So I'll ump in April, May.
So for me, I like to take July off a little bit, especially with podcasting, and maybe a little bit of August, because I know that when we hit the holiday months, when I say holiday months, I mean like gearing up for the holiday months, because I want to take those times off. So what I kind of like are recording spurts, it'll be, and sometimes you guys will listen. I'm sure you guys have already figured it out. That there's some episodes where you'll listen and you realize, wait, that happened like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, maybe even a month and a half ago. I'll reference something. So, for me in order to control my family life and all of that, and control all my family life and all that, then I have to kind of not always be recording. In fact, I had to strike a deal with the kids. Nothing after 6:30. They want dad, and I want them. So it gets a little rough, and then golfing. I get done with golfing. I'm going down to Cole Street. I'm going to Mazatlan. Have a little drink or have a little food. And anyways, what I'm trying to say is I got my daily planner out. I'm figuring out when I want to record. Are you do you kind of game plan too, where you're like, shoot, for all of September, not really, but I'm just as an example, I am going to have to be brewing this, and this. And I'm going to be, or is it like you already got your flow and you kind of do the same thing every month?
Well, I did forget my planner today, but normally I think you've seen I have
I
have a planner for the podcast too.
Yes. Yep.
I have several planners. I have, and actually I was just dealing with that today. So like I was touched on earlier is bringing the events back. So I'm always trying to schedule around my schedule with my brewing schedules to make sure it's not, they aren't fighting against each other, but then also trying to look out on Facebook and different events for different businesses in town, because I don't want to try and match up on the same nights that they're doing stuff. So
sure.
So I have a really big table planner that's everybody's events. Every time I hear an event, I put it on there and do that sort of thing. And then at the brewery and at the courier, I have 2 calendars that I have on the wall. And every month I change. It's just open, and I change which month it is and change the days. And then I put what events that I have going on. So, and then when people want to reserve it for there's a wedding reception the week after next. So I know when that space is going to be rented. Mm-hmm. And so with all of that, and then in the back, I have another tabletop that's my brew schedule. And on that, I have when I brew it, and then when I'm going to keg it, and when it can come out. And then I have a keg count on the side, which is a whole different thing. Because lending kegs out when people want to have a wedding or something and they take my kegs, those tend to stay out for a little while, so I don't know what the timeline is on that.
Right.
Versus all my in-house, I know when it's going to go into the walk-in and how long until I'm going to use it, and then when I'm going to get it back. So I have 8-9 different calendars.
And so you're always you're always staring at something to write something down and check on something.
Yep.
I'm sure they make a computer program or something where you can kind of line things up together.
I always make that joke with my friends, like when they're like trying to schedule something, like I put it on my phone. If it's not on my phone calendar, it's not real.
That's true. I mean, you got to have to do that.
Yeah, because it goes off in a reminder, or I can just look ahead and see what I have scheduled that day.
Yeah, for the most part, you have them set up the invite.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to do that? Cool. Set up the invite.
Yep.
Yeah,
and on that, it's got work, family, and
everything.
Yeah.
All the reminders.
Yeah.
And then people calling you nonstop in case you forget something that you were like, oh, shoot, that's right. Now I know why that person is calling me 5 times.
Probably. I probably forgot something. I don't know.
It's okay. Hey, we're going to wrap this one up. We're going to do some shout outs real quick. For me, I'm going to shout out the Patreon subscribers. I said that earlier. I'm absolutely thrilled with them. We're at 15 right now. Been adding them up, and I also love how many people of the Patreons. One of the things that I do put on there, it's I think it's a $10 one. It's direct access to me, so to speak. What that means is you can message me day or night. I will respond to you. You will get the behind the scenes stuff from some of our things. Thankfully, no one hit me up though. I'm surprised for Alex's picture that she was going to send of that injury that had happened, and I said, "Hey, if you are a Patreon and you listen, I'll send you the picture of whatever Alex sends me of that brutal injury." But anyway, these guys do hit me up quite a bit, whether it's Snapchat or it's I am Homer Robertson. He'll hit me. Oh, it's a hilarious episode. I love. Oh, I'm listening to BrewHaha. Oh, I think I worked with Trevor. He will definitely hit me up. Veronica, obviously, newest Patreon. She's always hitting me up with just funny things. Listen to the podcast middle of the night because she works nights sometimes, and she's like, "Thank you, that helped me get you through. That was funny. Oh, you guys are great." Jared Skelly, he loves the fantasy football talk. Shekinah Sarver, she comes out on the lives quite a bit. Never met never met that person, but. Just they've never messaged me, I don't think. Ira Potter, he's funny as heck. He'll message me as well. Amanda Keating, she had a great time at Ocean Shores. How do I know? Because one night she was having a great time, and she just sent me a couple messages saying how much a great time she was having. And hey, you having a good time too? Yeah, I'm having a great. And then Cassie Spencer, I usually have to run into Cassie to talk to her, but she's come to some lives. We played cribbage and seen her there at another area, and it was fun seeing her. Desi B, obviously nonstop. She's always looking. She's even looking for where am I going to celebrate my 45th. Seth Loop.
45th?
40th. Desi's that good, though, that she is trying to find the 45th and maybe even lock up the 50th for me. Seth Loop, golfing, run into him. He wants to be on. He upped his patronage as well. Casey Scott, definitely with the Gold Buddy Cash. He's usually messaging on that. And then Adam, my bro, see him all the time. Drid, fantasy football, same thing with Kellen Hall. And then, we will text Mariners, stuff like that. But the person that really hardly ever says anything, ever. She doesn't message me. She doesn't show up. She doesn't like break her back while she's trying to deliver wines on my doorstep. JK, LOL. Holly Graff as well. So those are my Patreons. I thank you guys for that. Without you guys, I can't do this in a sense. You know, you guys help me charge up and get excited to go do this. Then I love it when I see you guys go visit Cole Street, Bordeaux Wine Bar, Mazatlan, and you guys are like, this is, Full Buddy Cast. I love this shirt. My daughter wears a shirt. She saw Travis Johnson, I think his name is. Yep. He was wearing a shirt the other day. Oh, yeah. And anyway, just love all the love. I love all the love. So, sorry, that was a long-winded love all the love. What's your shout out?
Oh, man, I got just blown away. I don't know. I'll shout out Andy Cardenas. I love him.
I hate that guy.
He's a great guy. I still see him at least once a week.
Yeah.
We've been friends for a long time. Appreciate him coming in. Also wanted to shout out Alina Mackey, the events coordinator for Enumclaw. She's been doing a great job.
That's great.
It's been tough lately. We're going into this time of year where things are just up and down. Like people can make it, people can't make it. The rules changing, all that stuff. So she's doing a great job making sure that we have live music on Friday nights and Saturday nights and Sundays.
Nice.
Downtown. Yep.
Nice. Good job, Alina. I think you've shouted out a few times, but that's okay because I know she does such a good job.
Yeah.
She really does. And she even posts on the board, Cloud discussion board. She'll post on there, hey, we got this going on this weekend. Come visit, all that. So shout out to her as well. Everyone, thanks so much for listening. Go down to Cole Street Brewery, 1627 Cole Street, and at 2551 Cole Street, Set Hut Hike. And then, we got to talk about fantasy football in the next one, I think, a little bit.
Making your way in the world today.
All right. Everyone, thanks so much for listening. Have a great day and take care.
Right.
Why don't you put
Cheers.
your headphones in and give this one a shot? Wouldn't you like to just listen away and go to a place where everybody knows who you are? Listen to two guys brew ha-ha, Cole Street Brewery and Full Buddy Cast, two of the greatest names. Why don't you go and listen to this episode?